This table has been in our family for over 50 years, and as great as it's held up, with 7 grandkids, we've outgrown it. I packed my car with rough sawn red oak and got to work flattening it. I made a perfectly flat platform to work on, bought a new router, and made a flattening jig to slowly work my way through this 8-quarter material. This table will be for my parents to match the house they built 18 years ago on their land. They had 4 boys and were all married with kids, so meals at the old table are done in shifts. Once I got everything flat, I used a track saw to get square edges, and after measuring all the thicknesses, replaned them all to match the thinnest board. I filled 3 80-gallon trash bags with sawdust on this build, but after everything was laid out, I started to get excited for the end product. We tried a few different methods, but settled on filling all the voids with clear resin epoxy, since they wanted to see the details in the voids instead of hiding them. A few weeks of resin filling later, I moved the boards out into my garage and got to work on gluing them together using Titebond extended glue for extra work time. I did the glue up one board at a time and used biscuits for alignment, making sure that the boards all stayed flat as I clamped them up. After a week of glue ups, it was time to utilize my laser engraver to make the edge template to mark onto the table surface. We wanted to go for a modern table shape, keeping a light look while still being solid. After cutting out the rough shape with a circular saw, I used a template to guide my router to get a perfect profile, using a rasp on the points the template couldn't overlap. To keep this table from feeling blocky, I added a deep 30-degree bevel on the bottom of the table, using a flattening bit and a 30-degree jig with my router. The corners couldn't be shaped like that, so the wood rasp came back out, and I slowly worked each corner to match the 30-degree bevel. The next few weeks were spent working on each side of the tabletop, sanding, planing, sanding, scraping, and sanding. I would guess the top is around 150 to 200 pounds. It wasn't going anywhere. Of course, there were air bubbles and voids in the resin as I sanded away the top layer, so I did multiple rounds of refilling on both sides before adding a 1/4-inch roundover to the top edge of the table. For the legs, my buddy Danny from Trailer Gating here in Kansas City taught me how to weld and helped so much in the design process of how to attach the legs to the tabletop. Using my laser engraver again, I made guides for each of the unique angles that these legs had to be welded up at, and we spent plenty of time with the grinder making the joints as seamless as possible. Each leg has 6 points of attachment, so I drilled oversized holes for the bolts and 2 holes on the ends of the legs to screw in the height adjusters. The scariest part about this build was drilling 12 massive holes into the table that I spent over 100 hours on, but I took my time and screwed in the threaded inserts, later adding glue to the outside and non-permanent thread lock to the inside. The connection was fantastic and everything was bang on square, so I took the legs off to keep grinding away. I also shaved my head. 4 coats of matte black spray paint and the legs were ready to go. Moving back to the tabletop, I started with the finish sanding, going up to 180 grit, water popping, and resanding before applying 2 coats of pure Rubio Monocoat. This is a hard wax finish that usually requires only 1 coat, but my research online found that 2 coats added slightly more protection and even coverage, so I got it all spread out and worked into the wood with applicator pads. I'm so thankful for all the companies that have worked with me on this product. All of them are linked in the description. I'm currently booked until March 2026, but if you have a custom project in mind, I'm always happy to work with you on making something truly unique that will stand the test of time.